7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what's Gucci, fam? This is Bola, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs who want to understand the individuals winning in the creative industry and want to learn how to attain success in their own pursuits. My name is Darren Figueroa, and my mission is to help you, the creative entrepreneur, find the roadmap to grow and succeed in your own endeavors. We share stories, insights, and tips from established and emerging creative entrepreneurs so you can attain success in your own pursuits. In this episode, Derick G. Derick was born in Miami in the early 80s and was drawn to creativity from a young age. He was inspired by his mom's love for arts and crafts. His passion for lowrider culture and photography shaped his career, leading him to capture iconic figures like LeBron James, Lil Wayne, Drake, while working with major brands like Nike and Beats by Dre. Beyond photography, he's now focused on marketing and brand development. His new brand, Slide Global, is about car culture worldwide. He's also building creative firms and helping other brands reach new heights. Without further ado, let's get into it, alright? Listo. Thank you everybody for listening. Everybody who's giving me love, showing me love, and showing me assistance. I appreciate you sending those positive messages. I know that the podcast is sporadic. It's not on time like every single week or something like that. It's because I have a life outside of that. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to be aware.
Shout out the work staff.
Yeah,
here.
shout out the work staff at Casa Tiki.
that don't
shout
understand
out
we're
Casa
recording
Tiki
audio.
for opening their doors to me once again. Shout out everybody from the Dead Flamingo pop-up. Appreciate every single last one of you. In the studio today, once again, we got 305 representative, been doing shit for a minute. I've seen you growing through the scene and doing various things in the scene. Derick G, thank you so much for your time, bro. Thank you for coming on and talking to me, bro.
Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
So let's just recap. So the G stands for what?
G's doesn't. It's not Gomez or Garcia or Gonzalez. It's actually Garnier, like the shampoo. It's French.
Garnier. Okay. And you said that you are doing things in various ways right now, right? So you primarily, the way that I ran into your creative aspect is through photography, right? But earlier we were talking and you said that your first avenue into the creative world was through the car club.
The car scene, like lowriders
Car
and
scene,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
So did you do competitions? Would you put your car, you wouldn't have a car. You were a little jit back then.
Well, no, I used to have model car. I've been driving since I was 12, 14 years old. My mom actually would teach me behind the Publix.
Oh, okay.
Right by Jose Marti for you all that know.
Damn, that's
next
what's
to
up.
La Grande. But I've always been into cars for whatever reasons. Always been in the blood. And, like my mom would help me with like the model cars and my lowrider bike, and she would help me upholster everything. So like that was like a creative process. But It was all through vehicles. I always pay homage to like my love for vehicles because my love for cars is what got me everything. It's the reason why I'm having a conversation with you now.
Yeah.
It's my love for cars. But
how so? Why do you say like, because that's what opened up your creative?
That's what opened every single door. I got on set because they needed cars for music videos, and I would just show up with cars. Like since I had all the cars and all my friends had nice cars, I learned. I got basically. The guys from the car club hit me up and like, hey, we're gonna go do a video for some German DJ and Little Kim.
Yeah.
You want to put your car in it? I'm like, sure. I've said this story before for any of y'all that's seen anything. And basically, the song's called Hypnotized, and it was a play off of Hypnotized from Biggie.
Yeah.
But it was featuring Little Kim and this German DJ. I think they were German. I don't remember. But they shot in Miami. They needed a bunch of cars. We were there all day. We shot on the old Port of Miami bridge that's right next to Bayside. It's still there today, but it's only used for like production stuff. I've seen it in a bunch of commercials and stuff. And I got screwed over on that job. I think it was like 17 or 18.
How so?
Because I was supposed to, they said, hey, they had I think like 20 cars. And they're like, hey, we're only going to pay the 4 main cars that are in the video. Yeah. My car is probably one of the cars that's in the video the most. And so when I go to get paid, they're like, oh, we already paid everybody out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they screwed me over because I was a kid or like the production company, or if somebody said, oh, yeah, it's my car.
Yeah.
And they took my money. I don't know what the situation was. Long story short, like they say there's no losses. There's always lessons.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. Who are you? What do you do? Like for future reference, like, oh, I'm the producer and that's the project manager or production manager. It's like, all right, cool. Well, if you guys ever need a car, here's my number, hit me direct.
Yeah.
So whenever that was my Cadillac, which I had back in the days, had hydraulics and had TVs, and it was all custom, and it was literally my daily driver. It's the only car I had at the time.
Yeah.
So I would always be in my nice car.
Yeah.
So anytime I saw a production,
Yeah.
I would pull over. They would all look at me like I'm crazy, like, who's this kid in this car?
Yeah.
And I would be like, hey, here's my number. If you ever need cool cars, hit me up.
Yeah.
And that's how I started kind of like moving around. I would meet certain people. One of the first big videos I went to was Top Back Remix. It was a TI video featuring BG and Big Country, I think it was, and a couple other people. I forgot who else was on it. Oh, Young Jesus in it. And I went with my boy Vinny. And Vinny had a black 64 at the time, or a silver 64. I forgot what car we went in. And I'm actually in the video for like half a second.
Yeah.
And at that time, he asked me to tag along, so if I wanted to take photos of the cars on set.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, sure, I'm down. So we went, back then there was no social media. Smartphones weren't like smart.
There was nothing.
The photo quality wasn't good. No, back then because I think I had the Sidekick at that point.
Okay. That was the beginning.
But like the cameras were crap.
Yeah.
So like when they would see someone taking photos, it was encouraged because people wanted documentation.
Yeah.
So I would start shooting photos, and what do you get in a photo? I get the photo of the car, the artist is in front of it, the video girls are in it, and you just kind of like build that network.
Yeah.
What happens when most photographers or content guys don't know this, when you're the only one that shot it, everybody thinks like, yo, can you send me that?
Yeah.
And that was, back then.
Yeah.
So I started making friends with everybody like that. And since I had met Jed prior, I'm going to jump around a little bit.
It's all good.
But same thing with my car. One day I'm driving to the beach to go do something, and I see a bunch of production vehicles. I jump out. And once again, I've said this a bunch of interviews. It was We Taking Over.
Yeah. With DJ Khaled.
Yeah. I got off. I saw a bunch of people taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's just now like there's more photographers around. Khaled is like they're all about social media.
Yeah,
and everybody come out, and the more photos, the better.
Yeah. That
whole thing. This is in 2006, and whatever. I start taking pictures there. I find I find who the director is. I send them photos. Cool. Like a week after that, Judd from the TI video.
Yeah.
Since I had exchanged number, hits me up and he's like, "Hey, I need like 30 cars. There's no budget. I just need 30 cars. It needs to look like a street's packed."
Yeah.
For a music video, I was like, let me hit up a car
How the
club.
fuck is there no budget though?
It was some Russian chick. Like it was like a whole thing.
Okay,
Once again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't make $1. Like it was literally like me doing a favor. Like when you start early, you're trying to tap in.
Yeah.
And my dog here.
Yeah.
And whatever. I get to the set. I see Judd. I'm like, oh, who directed the video? Or who's directing the video? He's like, oh, Gil Green is the same gentleman who did We Taking Over. So I connected with him there again. And he's like, oh, you want to take some photos? Did you bring a camera? I'm like, oh, could I? He's like, yo, do your thing. If anybody says anything, you're here with me.
Yeah.
And then that turned into something. But what got me through that door was the cars.
Damn. So you were pimping out the cars to network.
Basically.
Yeah.
But it was cool because I made money. My friends made money. Like, it was like, I guess pimping is not the right word, but but I was brokering the cars.
Yeah,
and it was a good thing because like all with all my friends, all our cars are money pits.
Yeah.
So like,
you guys spent mad bread to those TVs, all that shit wasn't cheap back in the day.
Exactly.
Did you ever do loser laps in the Grove, dog?
I'm fucking king of loser laps.
Loser lap king, bro. I used to love that shit.
I'll even top that. And funny, I just actually ran into the guy at the Lowlife picnic. I would do loser laps so much that I fell asleep driving once.
Doing loser laps?
Doing loser laps. We were stuck in traffic, and I was with my boy Sony, and a couple friends were in my mom's car. It was a Geo Prism, a 92 Geo Prism.
What? Time out, dog. You were doing loser laps in a Geo Prism?
This is like 90. This has to be like 9. I was what? This was like 99, 2000.
Everybody hanging out the windows.
My mom's car.
Yeah. Damn, that's
and this might have been even sooner. This might have been earlier, actually, because at that point, this had to be like I was like fresh at 16 years old.
Fresh
so
with brand new license.
Yeah, and bro, I'm one known to be falling asleep driving. It's happened to me a couple times. It's funny. I don't drink or nothing, but not drinking driving. But I've fallen asleep a few times for whatever reason. I work hard, bro.
I hear you, dog.
And my boy said that I did this. I was like, we're sitting and we're looking around, whatever. Then out of nowhere, I just did this. And my boy looks at me and says, yo, what are you doing? And he realized the car starts moving. fucking slaps the shit out of me like on my chest. I
Yeah.
wake up, I go to press the brake, and I slip and I hit the gas, and I went between two cars.
What?
And mind you, it was the night of Cinco de Mayo, like the midnight before Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So everybody was lit because it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a Saturday
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. So imagine everybody on the street. There's no social media, so everybody's just
yeah.
talking shit. And then one of the guys that happened to hit was some senior in my high school.
Damn.
He didn't know who I was, but I knew because of his car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and mind you, they're all drunk. Everybody's lit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and
So no cops got caught, nothing.
oh no,
like
no,
that.
of course the cops came.
Oh,
It
yeah?
was a ticket. It was a whole thing because I got in between two cars, so I hit two. The other people I didn't know.
Mm.
And I was a kid, so they were
Okay.
like,
I see
they're
what
not
you're
gonna be
saying.
like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
you could tell, you know,
Dip
you know,
out,
people's
peace.
cars had to be painted, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, no, loser laps were my shit.
Damn.
I had me and my friends had our route from Hialeah to like Sunset Place.
Oh
and then,
yeah, I remember you would go to
Yeah.
the Sunset
We
Place.
take
too,
Palmetto.
dog.
We jump on the Palmetto on 103rd. We all pump gas. Jump on the. We probably meet at the Taco Bell on 122, which is 68th Street.
Yeah.
For those that y'all don't know, in Hialeah, behind Lago Grande. From there, we would either take 68th up to the Palmetto all the way down to Sunset, get off on Sunset, make a left, get to US 1, cut
Yeah.
through Sunset, do it a few times.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
yeah,
a figure
yeah,
eight. It's
yeah.
like a weird route. And then from there, take US 1 all the way down, make a right on Grand Ave. Hit
Start
Grand
the- yeah.
Ave up and down, maybe for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that got boring.
That's just crazy, bro. I remember doing that. Like, we would come down from Ghouls and we'd just ride up US 1 and hit Sunset and then jump back on US 1 and hit the Grove. But, like, that, you keep saying before social media, and that's just true, dog. Like, so I feel like social media really changed shit up big time,
Oh, yeah.
like, in terms of, like, socializing, right? Back then, that was the socializing. That literally was like your Facebook. You would see other people in other cars, and you would like jump out the window and
Yeah,
holler,
holler,
try to
yeah.
holler at the girls through the window and shit like that. That was the DMing back then. You
No,
know what I'm saying? That was the direct message.
I remember because girls used to do it too.
Facts.
Girls would go squatting, and
Facts, bro. They
whatever,
would go squatting too,
And then
so
what you would do, you would switch passengers.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all go over there. The girls would jump in here, and then you guys become friends. And you know, back then you would be able to post up on Key Biscayne. Where you'd be able to
Yes.
drive up to the sand and hang out. You can also on Watson Island. You'd be able to park there and like look at the skyline.
Yes,
and post
yes,
up there.
yes.
People would go there to smoke and do other things. And you know, it was just a different time, bro, because you literally had to like socialize and like,
Legit.
and you had to be friends with people and talk with them to see what's going on with
You have
their
to
lives.
be friendly.
Yeah.
You have to
So-
know how to hold a conversation, which I feel like, I mean, I don't want to sound like the old man in the group and all that shit, but I feel like the youngsters right now have a problem socializing, like not knowing how to talk to each other. Back then, you were forced to talk to each other, like unless you was gonna be dry as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
had no chicks, you had no friends, no nothing. Even those people would socialize because they would have like their own group of people that would normally like they would hang out with. Like I remember down south, there was like the emo kids would hang out with each other and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody had their own group, you know, but they still socialized in person.
Yeah.
Like that whole like social media game really switched it up. But I digress. Going back to the car situation, so like the cars was your first avenue into the creative world.
Correct.
And then after you started with like bringing the cars on set and all of that, did that naturally progress into you taking pictures of the cars and then you went into the photography route, or how like what was that?
Well, I was taking pictures of cars already. Like I was really into it. I already had my like little Canon Digital Rebel, so Canon XT was what it was back then.
Yeah.
And I was just taking pictures of like my friends' cars, and like I was really into the car world since I was really young. I would go to all the lowrider shows. I mean, even before digital, before when I was still like in middle school, I have a photo of me at the lowrider show in '98. I was in 8th grade.
Damn.
Like my stepbrother and all my friends, like I would take all the photos, and then they would just give me money to get doubles or triples of the photos. So
Walgreens.
because they knew I would just score on Eckerd's.
Throwback.
So like that was a thing where it's like, and I would get to the point where like I would upcharge them a little bit each, so I'd
Yeah.
get my photos for free.
Oh, okay.
And then it was fair. I
Yeah,
did all
yeah.
the work, and I did
Facts.
So I kind of did that way for and it's just kind of like everything for me happened naturally is always through like doing what I love, and I'm a big advocate of like find what you love, do it, and eventually you'll figure out ways to make money doing it. And I always tell people it's like for whatever you love to do, that you do it for free, that you would pay to do. Someone's getting paid to do it. Why can't it be you? If you like to fuck, porn stars.
Yeah.
If you like going to hotels, become a critic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's literally anything and everything in the world there's somebody's getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
It could be you if you just, you have to work your ass off and you have to become that person. You have to be consistent and you kind of have to build that identity.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that thing. Like everything with me was cars. So, like I said, getting back to that, I started becoming like the car guy for like Gil and Judd with 305 Films, and like, hey, we need this kind of car. And like, back in like the late 2000s, every music video had a car in it.
Yeah, facts.
Now it's like everything's like a Charger, and they're standing on the roof of like Phantoms, and it's just more about being like disruptive.
Yeah.
Versus back then, it was more about like being street
Hanging
or
out the
being
car.
core, like
Yeah.
it was the car culture.
Yeah.
So that was like I was a tool that I was a tool that helped them tap in, because Judd's more of a car guy than Gil was, but like they weren't out and about, like, because they were grown ass men with responsibilities and families, and like it's different.
Yeah.
I was a fucking chamac,
Yeah.
out every day till 2 a.m, just hanging out doing car shit.
Facts.
With my friends. So it's different. You're tapped in, and you just got to know like your avenues. But then it came to a point where like they were doing a job, and Gil was like, "Yo, we don't need cars, but do you want to just come do behind the scenes?"
Yeah.
And that turned into something where like I probably worked for like 2-3 years without like not making real money off the photos.
Yeah.
So like now when like they alley-oop that bill to like the record labels.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, look, we need this now. Now there's MySpace, and we have all these different things, and Facebook, and all. We need a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Because I mean, have you ever seen behind the scenes photos of like a Run DMC music video?
Actually, no.
And I'm sure there is. There has to be.
Yeah, but they're probably like
But
in a vault
they're
somewhere.
archival. It
Yeah.
was film. It's expensive. Now things are digital. It's like, oh, it's not as expensive. You don't have to develop anything. You're just paying one person to kind of shoot and edit. And, and mind you, we were kids back then trying to figure it out. Like I'm funny enough, I'm in the 30 years of Def Jam, but I was 30 or 25 years of Def Jam. I was the youngest photographer in that book.
Damn.
I think I have like 4 or 5 photos that are mine of Def Jam artists in that book. And it was one of those things where like, I was a kid amongst a bunch of OGs. But once again, since I was always like the youngest in the room, it also equal to that I wasn't the smartest in the room, which is great because I'm just learning from everybody.
Okay.
And because I understood and I knew how to work around like all these OGs, I was always invited in because I would always make sure that I get photos of them working, because it was very unprofessional for them to, hey, get a picture of me working.
Yeah.
But if I do it, it's my job.
Yeah, on the low key, yeah.
Not even on the low key, it's my job to do behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
if the artist is standing next to you and you're adjusting a light and I take a photo,
Yeah.
that's a beneficial for you as a lighter, as a gaffer.
As a gaffer, yeah.
But I'm not bothering. The artist is like, oh, that's his job.
Yeah.
So I'm not. But if that guy was like, hey, take a picture of me doing this light next to this gentleman, yeah, like, yo, what are you doing? Do your job.
Yeah.
So a lot of the OG guys were like, grateful to have me around, and they would let me get away with murder and invite me to certain sets, and like, shout out Tom Marvel, like, one of the guys I looked up to. He's a DP. He did like Still DRE, and he did like all these crazy videos, and to end up working with him, and I didn't know he had done Still DRE, which is that came out when I was in 9th grade.
Sure, yeah.
Like how psycho I was about that video is that I figured out my camcorder, if I turned the cables around, I could record into the camcorder. I would record music videos onto the VHS tapes that would go in my camcorders, the DV tapes.
Yeah.
And I would watch them in school and show my friends, like, because we didn't have smartphones.
Oh,
but I'd be able to be like, yo,
I
you
see
seen
what
the
you're
new
saying.
Snoop video? You seen
That's
the
how you would show it?
Yeah, because I would literally pull out my
crazy.
camcorder and show them, because I had like the ones that were like the big screen with the little, like tilted thing or whatever.
Yeah, I actually have one of those.
And fast forward 10 years later, the guy's letting me like, he's on a dolly's like where you mount a camera and they move you around it, but there's usually 2 seats.
Yeah.
He'll pull out the second seat, be like, Derek, jump on the chair so you can get good shots. So like that way I'm not in his way.
Yeah.
And I'm getting almost the
behind the
same
scenes.
shots. No, and even my own shots that are parallel to what the music video camera's getting, but in photography form. So like, it was one of those things where like these guys all became like my big brothers, and it was just one of those things where like I made myself an asset. Hey, what do we need to figure out? Like I've always been like a problem solver. Like I like solutions, not problems. Like don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. And and if I see problems going on, for the most part, and sometimes people say I'm kind of like overstepping my boundaries sometimes.
Yeah.
But if like I see people going on a mission, like what do you guys need? Like what's the end product? What do you guys need?
Yeah.
Like hey, we need to get this. All right, cool. Do this, this, and this. And they're like, oh shit, perfect. But from the outsider looking in, they're caught up in either emotions or they're caught up in, they're thinking about other things versus just standing outside and looking at the problem and just, giving them a solution. And I've kind of always been that to a certain extent with certain situations.
Okay.
So I was essentially part of that family for a really long time. And like once again, the cars got me through that door, and just
Yeah.
kind of being resourceful and being able to like make things happen, and and helping them creatively, or like they gave me a lot of my first opportunities. They alley-ooped me to a lot of people, so like I'll be forever grateful to that crew.
That's what's up, man. I mean, that's a crazy trajectory that you were able to like stick with it first and foremost. And you did what you loved, which was the cars originally, and you still love the cars. So it's still something that's part of your DNA, but it also like it grew into other worlds where you were able to use the cars to get you to other avenues, right? So like what was like one of those what was like a challenge, right? Because you talked a lot about various things there, but one of the things that stood out to me is like you don't like problems, you like solutions, right? And in South Florida, a lot of people like will catch feelings and feel a certain way because you're successful and you're doing what you're supposed, and like you're doing what you're doing, right? How do you circumvent that? How do you still grow with people, but at the same time get away from like the problems that arise from that?
I mean, for me, it's easy. I just step away from whatever. It's easy for me to walk away from stuff that and mind you, I've been told sometimes I care too much.
Okay.
But I've learned to like stop sacrificing myself to a certain extent. For people that don't give a shit about me. You know what I mean? Like I've been in circles where like I've helped people build amazing things.
Yeah.
And then it's like when it's time to get paid, it's like everybody's scratching their head, or like, what about this? Or I've actually seen people like I there's an issue, I fix the problem, and then they take the full credit for it.
Damn, that's wild.
And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, like me getting the credit for that's not gonna benefit me, so
Yeah.
fuck it, who cares? But the fact that I know like that's their action, they're willing to do that shit and just look at me and smile, like it's like,
That's
all right,
the type
cool.
of person you
That's
are.
the type of person you are. I've always said it like this, bro. You gotta treat broken people like broken mirrors. You can still use them. You know what I
Damn,
mean?
that's
Like,
wild.
like a broken mirror, you can still grab a piece and look at it, and you use it as a
Yeah,
mirror, but
yeah.
you know it's broken.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's like that's how I use people that I know are broken. I saw something the other day, was like, you gotta stop using the word friend and start using colleague, and people like, I know a lot of people. I'm not friends with a lot of people. You know what I mean?
You know what? I agree with you there, bro. I stopped calling people friends a long time ago. I don't say colleague. I normally say acquaintance, like because I'm acquainted with you. We know each other, but you're not my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to fuck me over in certain situations.
If the
like,
opportunity arose, then,
exactly, if the opportunity came about, and then at the same time, I've also seen people that I'm not that acquainted with, but will go to bat for you. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in both situations, so that's why it's like even people, it's crazy because it's even people that you've known for a minute, bro. Like you normally acquaint time to friendship, but that as I get older, it's like it doesn't matter how long I know you. You still a snaky ass mofo. You know what I'm
you
saying?
just haven't been bit yet.
You just haven't been bit.
100%.
I've been around your snake ass for a long time, so people normally put their guard down after you've been around with somebody for a minute, or you seen them for a while. But yeah, bro, it's true. Like it's hard. It's hard out here. Okay, because this is my thing. I know South Florida, right? And South Florida's cliquish as fuck, bro. It's like super cliquish, and sometimes like certain cliques have I like to call it the sun, like the person who everybody gravitates to in that clique, right?
Yeah, it's like there's their own universe, and
Their
everybody
own little universe,
they
and then
all
the
orbit
sun.
around them.
Yeah, everybody orbits around that one person, or maybe two people, or whatever the fuck. And if you're not cool with that one or two people, then there's no way that you're gonna get a part of that. You
No one
might
there's
get
your
close
friend.
to that. Yeah, you might get close to that to the sun. You might be close to that universe, but they're not gonna let you in, right?
You can't orbit with us.
Exactly, you can't orbit with.
You can't orbit with us.
I mean, that's South Florida, dog, and that's something like that I've come up against. Right, I've buttressed that a lot because I'm just I as an individual, I have a lot of acquaintances and I'm down as fuck with a lot of people. But at the same time, I have my clique, which is Strange Bass. That's my DJ and my music production people. But outside of that, it's hard for me to get into other little cliques, basically. Like I'm not one of those people who's gonna be like kissing ass all the time to try to get into somebody's orbit. How do you network that? How do you know how to work it? We're like, okay, I'm not kissing your ass, I'm not anything, but I'm gonna get to a point where it's mutually beneficial for us to fuck with each other. How do you do that? How do you
I mean, perfect example. I don't mind reaching out to people. If I see there's an honest man, everyone has I said it the other day. Everyone has an agenda.
Yeah.
Good or bad, everybody has an agenda. You could be the nicest person on earth, but there's an agenda there.
Facts.
For whatever reason. And there's nothing wrong with having an agenda. No. But I'm just a big believer in disclosing your agenda. So like, hey, look, yo, I see what you're trying to do here. Bro, I can definitely get you past the finish line. Oh, why are you doing this? Because if you get past that finish line, guess what? It solidifies what I'm trying to prove, and it's a win-win for both of us. Here's the thing. Let me ask you something. If I can give you $100,000 tomorrow for throwing a party, would you take it?
$100,000?
Yeah.
Like pay me $100,000? Yeah.
But what if you found out you did all the work?
Yeah.
You did everything. But what if you found out I handled the door and I made $900,000? Look at your face. Look at your face.
I wouldn't be, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be upset because you could have handed that $100,000 to somebody else and somebody else would easily have taken it.
And that's the best answer you can give.
Yeah.
Some people be like, oh, fuck that, but I did all the work.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you haggle? Did you negotiate?
Yeah.
Did you talk about it?
Yeah.
I just told you I'm gonna give you $100,000. We're doing a party tomorrow. I'm gonna give you $100,000.
Yeah.
You down? You need you to DJ. I need you to set it up. I need you to set up the chairs.
Yeah.
And I need you to clean after. You want to do it? Yes or no? For 3 hours worth of work.
I mean, fuck yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But someone else be like, nah, fuck that. I did all the work. I should get more money, or at least you get half.
Yeah.
You know, I know a situation where like, you know, I alley-oop work to a bunch of to a bunch of people, you know, friends and colleagues and whatnot that do what we do, and one guy once came to vent to me about somebody else that offered them work, and it was like a $500 job.
Yeah.
The guy offered him $100. He accepted. He didn't know that the job was $500. He accepted the job for $100.
Yeah.
And then once he found out that the guy who alley-ooped him the job made $4 on it,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, fuck that dude. This is that." I was like, "Did you ask for more money?" He's like, "No." "Did you ask him what the rate was?" He's like, "No, he just asked me if I wanted to do something for $100." Like, you agreed to it, bro. You should be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the future, like when you know, now you send him the fuck off. You just lost a lifeline where like he could have thrown you more money, and then down the line, you could be like, "Yo, you know what? I want $250," and the guy would have been like, "Yo, fuck it. I'm making $250 and I don't gotta do it. Go do your thing." So it's one of those things where you gotta understand where you stand with certain situations, and you gotta understand how you pursue certain things. Another example. Understanding having like not genuine, but like having like a common finish line. Like we both want the same thing at the end.
Okay.
You want to paint this building white.
Yeah.
That's your goal. I want to help you paint this building white because I'm going to get famous off of it.
Yeah.
You don't care about the fame, but then when it's done, everybody knows, yo, Derick painted that building. That's the guy. Yeah. You're like, yo, but I painted the building too.
Yeah.
But what the fuck do you care when your goal was just to paint the building?
Yeah. But
your ego kicks in and you're like, damn, but he got all the credit. What do you care? You literally did half the work. I did the other half. I did 50% of the work.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the 100% of the credit.
Yeah.
And you didn't care about the credit, but because you saw someone else get the credit, it bothers you. It hurts your ego and it eats into you. And it's one of those things where you just need to understand like what you're getting yourself into, who you're getting yourself into with, you know? It's one of those things where like I'm not too worried about what everyone else is doing. Yeah. I'm kind of doing my thing. And if I run into someone doing something that's, oh shit, like I can see something out of this.
Yeah.
You know, let's have a conversation. I've had plenty of conversations with people that have gone nowhere and there's no issues. It's just, it didn't blossom into anything. It doesn't mean that we are enemies or we're not cool anymore. It's just like, it hasn't blossomed yet.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person, I'm a half cup kind of full person.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the positive of everything. You know, people saying like that's a bad trait of mine that I should really look at everything as like half empty. And I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I know what I could do with half that cup of water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can still drink from it.
Facts.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm still grateful that half of that cup is there. You know what I mean? So like I move in a certain way where like everything I do is genuine.
Yeah.
Is there an agenda? Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, perfect example. Dism 305, huge artist from Miami, good friend of mine.
He's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great friend of mine. And friend, I'm using it very loosely because we don't hang out a lot.
Yeah.
But we appreciate each other's work. We appreciate each other's rep for the crib.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like there's a mutual respect amongst us. And for example, he one day posts like, "Hey, I need somebody that does drone work." I don't even DM him. I text him. I'm like, "Yo, what do you need?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm painting this basketball court in Kendall. I need to come shoot it." All right, bro. If I can go late, I got you. He's like, "Yo, we're here till like 2 a.m. Like, okay, perfect. I'll meet you there after a certain hour. I went out there. I shot the shit. I flew the whole thing. Yada yada yada. Whatever the case may be. Then fast forward, like after this was before Basel. After Basel, he's like, they're announcing that the Tuesday after Basel, they're gonna do the unveiling of the court.
Yeah.
You know, everyone from the city's gonna be there, and it's like a whole thing. They're doing an art show, whatever the case may be. I had already put on my calendar I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to shoot the drone with like now people playing basketball
Yeah.
over it and kind of unveiling the court completely done before you know it gets damaged or wear and tear from the weather, whatever the case may be. I went over there. I threw the drone up. I shot it. Why did I do that? One, he needed it. So
Yeah.
like, why not? No, down the line, like I don't know how many people could say they've shot a basketball court painted by their friend.
Yeah.
So like to me, it's something cool. Another thing is I go so hard for Miami and I rep the crib so much. My company's called Retro Dade. I archive that now.
Yeah.
And that goes into my database. And like in 30 years, when they talk about basketball courts in Miami with the Miami Heat celebrating 50 years
Yeah.
of basketball
You
here,
got that in the-
they want to fly back to like all basketball moments from Miami. Yo, guess who has those files? Derek got them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, it's like archive was a big part of it. So I'm not benefiting from it now, but maybe down the line I will.
Yeah.
You know, in my own personal projects or anything beyond, or even him. Yo, this becomes the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
Who's got like content of him?
Yeah.
Derek does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where like I just enjoy the process. We got to talk shit. We got to hang out, and it's something where we always run into each other at events on the street.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first times that we're literally just like me, him, and one of his boys that was helping him talking shit for 2-3 hours in Kendall at like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Was it Dreps?
Bro, I don't know the graffiti
Oh,
names,
okay.
bro. I didn't meet everyone.
Dreps, I'm trying to get you on the podcast,
Yeah.
motherfucker. No, but
I don't
yeah.
know the graffiti names, and I get introduced to so many people, and I'm terrible with names.
Yeah,
I'm great with faces,
I
but
feel
terrible
you.
with names. But it's one of those things where like I came at it as like he needs something. I got the time, I got the tools, I got
Yeah.
the skill set. Why not? And you know what? When I was doing my 305 event earlier in the year,
Yeah.
he saw me posting about it, and he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I actually just did some artwork for this company. They have like this liquor in a can thing. I think they would." And like he knew that they needed events or venues to
Yeah.
pop up at. So he saw it as like he's hooking me up because I can potentially get some money from them
Yeah.
to help create my activation, and then they needed a place to put out their product, to expose their product. So he didn't benefit nothing from
Yeah.
that. But what did he do? It's a chess move.
Yeah.
So to me, everything that I do is a chess move. You know, that chess, I might move that piece and it might not move again for the 3-4 years,
Yeah.
but it's there. And once again, I've been screwed over. I've been, messed up. It's rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been screwed over and I've been, fucked out of things. And it's one of those things, bro, I'm still standing here. I'm still doing it.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not worried about that because if you sit there and you count every time you've been fucked over,
Yeah.
you go write yourself a pity book and go sit in the corner and read it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and there's people that obviously get affected by things more than others.
Yeah.
After getting fucked over as many times as I have, I've
Yeah.
kind of become numb to it. And sometimes I'll take certain things because obviously more things like when, you talked about earlier, like friendship is based on time and the whole nine.
Yeah.
And obviously the longer you've been with friends with someone and they hurt you, the deeper the
more
cut.
it hurts, yeah.
Yeah, the deeper the cut.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I've been screwed over by people I just met. I've been screwed over by people I've known for over 10 years. And it's one of those things that it's like nothing surprises me anymore. It is what it is. And it's not how you fall, it's how you get back up.
Yeah.
And not every time you get fucked over, you're falling.
Yeah.
You might have just tripped a little bit. So you
Yeah.
just got to keep it moving, bro. And like, I'm not worried about clicks. I'm not worried about what everyone else is doing. I'm kind of doing my own thing. And you know what? I'm my own son. And whoever wants to orbit around me, come through.
That's true.
And if you're fucked up, I'll just throw a comment at you and you out.
That's
You know what
funny.
I mean?
You can't orbit with us.
Yeah,
That's funny.
you can't orbit with us.
Bro, I feel you on that shit, dog. So, like, the reason I bring it up is because I really had personally, I had a big issue with that. Like, I would get embittered, right? I'd be like, damn, don't nobody fuck with me. Like, ain't nobody giving me no love out here type of situation. And I would still keep it moving because I have to keep it moving because this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, it did take me some time to realize, all right, first, I see the people who are fucking with me. And I fuck with them heavy. Like, for example, the Def Flamingo, Casatiki, these people fuck with me heavy. I fuck with them heavy, too. Like, I want to give them as much as, if not more, than what they giving me. You know what I'm saying? Same shit, likewise, with, like, Strange Base, my crew. People that I, like, that came into me, and they had absolutely no reason to fuck with me or give me any kind of love, but they did, right? So I really take that into consideration. But at the same time, other people that I've seen, like, damn, that have done like sly ass moves against me, I used to get bitter about it. I used to be like, damn, what? I didn't do shit to you, bro. Like, why you doing me like that, right? But it did take me some time, but I have come to the realization, like, everybody's in their own journey. Like, everybody has, like you said, the broken glass thing. I just see, like, everybody has their own cuts, right? And they don't know how to handle their own anger or resentment or whatever the fuck they got going on. So I try to not take it personal. I used to take it personal. That's what it was.
Bro, here, I'll give you a cheat code. He didn't do anything to you. He did something for him
All right.
or her.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, and not to get into too detail, I've noticed situations where it's like they made a move that fucked me,
Yeah.
but it benefited them.
100%.
And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, perfect example. I have a client of mine that for whatever reason is not a client anymore.
Yeah.
But they hop, skipped, and jumped over me and reached out to some of my people
Yeah.
that I, you know, had a lot of love for.
Yeah.
And and this was like a 2-month process. I was obviously clueless because I had no
Yeah.
idea this was like in another state. But it's people from Miami, and
They try to circumvent you, probably to try to cut out your fee and shit or something.
whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Long story short, the client calls me. They text me that, hey, do me a favor. Can you hit me up or whatever the case may be? I hit him up. He's talking to me. Mind you, this guy doesn't owe me shit.
Yeah.
He's a client.
Yeah.
You know. He said, hey, I wanted to let you know I did a project and I hired your people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks. What's
Yeah.
the situation? He's like, oh, you know, like whatever. He just wasn't giving me like a straight up answer.
Yeah.
He felt like he had to let me know to try to save face.
Yeah.
I told him, yo, I appreciate the call and I thank you for being honest with me, but I don't feel good about this.
Yeah.
Fast forward, my people, I get a text from them. Hey, when you get a chance, let's get on the call. Get on the call. Hey, I spoke to so-and-so. They told me you kind of like have a bad taste in your mouth situation. I was like, yeah, 1,000%. Anybody would.
Yeah.
And basically, it was like a 20-minute conversation back and forth. I told them this. I asked, let me ask you something. Have you ever been cheated on before?
Yeah.
They're like, they just kind of stayed quiet. I was like, let me ask you something. Would you rather find out from your spouse or the person they cheated with? And they were like, okay, I understand. I was like, yeah, like, because they were like, oh, the client wanted to talk to you first.
Yeah.
Fuck the client. You and me have a relationship.
Yeah.
You should tell the client, yo, I can't let you do that because my I have to face Derick all the time.
Facts.
I have to run into him in my city. We might be on jobs together. He puts money in my pocket.
Yeah.
But they didn't think that way. They were respecting the money, not the relationship. So to me, it's like, they lost a relationship over a couple dollars. I let go of a relationship over principle.
Okay.
Because they easily could have called me and been like, yo, so-and-so hit us up.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like, no, don't take the job.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
That's not my place. And if I did that to you, I'm not your friend.
Yeah, yeah. I'm taking money out your pocket.
Yeah, like if
they don't want to fuck with me, why am I going to take the money from you?
Exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, there's finder's fees.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Yo, shout out Casey Chops. I put him down. A friend of mine's hit me up like, yo, I need a DJ for my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
But like, we want somebody like, you know, somebody with a name
Yeah.
from the crib. I hit up, literally first person called Casey Chops. I asked him like, yo, what about Casey Chops? It's like, oh yeah, my daughter loves him.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I got this job, friend of mine. We got a job for you. You know, would you hit him up? He doesn't fuck around. He hits him up. Yo, literally like an hour later, I get a Zelle. He's like, finder's fee.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did that, guess who I'm going to call every time somebody needs a DJ?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you on that.
And, you know, he has his podcast, MIA on the Rocks, and one thing that he taught me was evolve or dissolve. I had never heard that term.
Okay.
And, like, that's kind of, like, now something that's implanted in me where it's, like, you have to kind of adjust with the times. If now you're just going to be the old guy that's still trying to, like, hold your claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, even with these interviews, like obviously I'm doing with you today. I just did Grumpy OGs.
Yeah,
I did the Rap Battle podcast with Tony MC. And it's like, I do these because it's different perspectives. A lot of the same stories.
Yeah.
And some people are like, bro, you say the same thing. And I was like, it just solidifies my story. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not bullshitting you. You know what I mean? Somebody told me once, if you ever see a hip hop artist that always has a different piece of jewelry on, it's probably fake. If you see an artist that has the same piece of jewelry on all the time, it's probably real. He's got nothing to prove.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's like, oh, why does he keep the same stories? Like, well, they keep asking me the same questions. So I'm just going to keep solidifying my story because that's what it is. But the whole thing about, like, putting people down in situations like that, so basically they're like, oh, well, how are we supposed to fix the situation? Like, there's no fixing. What's done is done. But you could have at least hit me up and be like, yo, send me a little something.
Yeah.
An hour later, I get a Zelle for a percentage.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get a text from him.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. So I almost wanted to Zelle the money back.
Yeah.
To just
like-
be like, yeah, like that's not the point. Like, you
Yeah.
guys don't get it. That's not the point. But it's one of those things that is like, you know, did they kill themselves? Maybe they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know where they stand in the situation because I haven't talked to them since then.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
Yeah.
Over a couple dollars that I wasn't gonna stop you from getting anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like going back to the original question, like how do you maneuver on that stuff? Is like I don't maneuver. I just go forward, bro, and like you
don't pay it mind.
No, I keep going, bro, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna sit here and dwell on it, guess what? I'm not getting to the money faster. I'm not getting to my next thing faster because I'm pulled over to the side crying about it. When I talk about car references, if
Yeah.
I'm on a road
Yeah.
and I gotta pull over and cry because this happened to me, guess what?
You're not riding.
Yeah, like I gotta keep riding.
Yeah.
I gotta keep moving. So I don't trip about shit like that anymore. I just kind of see it for what it is, and like I said, it's a broken mirror. You can still use it. So like when I realize that I have people like that around me, I just kind of take it for what it is, and you can kind of tell like if I fuck with you or not depending on what I invite you to or what I'm doing. There's people that I did this years ago. I got hit up to host something for El Clásico when they did the soccer thing here a few years ago, where I was able to invite 24 people on 2 different yacht parties, like same day, 2 different slots. When I posted it. And I invited the people I invited some people I was doing business with at the time. I invited a few friends that I grew up with, and then I invited people that I wanted to, have
Network
conversations with and be like, hey, look, this is the kind of shit I'm doing. Like, let's talk because I see a benefit from it. As I posted the next day, I started getting DMs. Oh, how come you didn't hit me up? Damn, that's fucked up. Da, 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 da. I literally had to go and post something with like sad violin music and be like, yo, for all the people that are bitching, think about how many things I invited you to and you never showed up to. So don't trip when I don't invite you to something and it's something you wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The people that got invited were the people that show up for me.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of, you know what it is? Ultimately is checking your emotions, which it took me a minute. I'm not going to front. It took me a minute to like, because when I consider somebody a friend, I get highly invested as a friend, right? And I'm
the same way.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it took me a minute to like check my emotions with my friends. Like if you don't mean shit to me, you do me dirty, no me importa, right? Yeah. I keep it popping. But if you mean something to me and you do me dirty, then it's like, damn, that shit hurt. Like you said, the deeper the friendship, the harder the cut, right? Yeah. So it's like it took me a while to like check my emotions and be like, okay, maybe they're going through something, or even if they're not going through something, it's not my place, right? It's not something that should affect my energy. I need to keep my energy clean. I need to keep riding, right? I got to keep doing it. So
you can step on the brake for a second and just kind of try to peep the scene, but you don't have to pull over.
Facts.
You keep them, you just, all right, cool. I'm done here, and you keep going. You hit the gas and you keep going. Right?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, lo que está para ti nadie te lo quita. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
But you know what? Lately, though, I've been kind of like on a checking people, and I don't mean checking them like on some gangster shit.
Yeah.
I mean like, yo, what's the situation? What's up?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know. I just want to learn for my educational purposes only. You know what I mean? Like why'd you do that? Or like why
you make that move?
Why are you like that? Like what did I do to you? I just want to understand. I'm just trying to process. And is that did I say something?
Yeah.
Did somebody tell you that I said something that I didn't say and you don't want to confront me about it and you're just being rude now or whatever the case may be? I have another situation. I won't go into detail where it's like, somebody needed help with something. I've helped them for many years.
Yeah.
It's coming again, and I'm like, oh, like, you keep asking me for all this help, like, let's break bread.
Yeah.
Like, I'll handle this whole shit for you.
Yeah.
Because I know how to. You could be the face of it. I just want to make some money off of it on the back end and make it as best of an event for you.
Yeah.
And I want to do it under my brand because it's still going to be your face, but it just solidifies what I'm trying to do with Retro Dade.
Yeah.
Back and forth, it's not going to happen. Cool. But since I've asked for money now, the person's super dry with me. You're bothered because I asked to get paid for my services that everyone else pays me for?
I mean, yeah, they probably take that for granted.
You know what I mean? Because I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And it kind of reverses what I talk about. But at the end of the day, you're making money. Why can't I make money? Why is it okay for you to make money and I'm helping you?
Yeah.
And I've helped you all these years and I haven't asked you for $1 and you've never even offered $1.
That's what they already got comfortable with that.
But now you're coming to me asking me to help you, and I want to charge you or I want to add a fee or whatever the case is. And mind you, I'd set it up to where, like, I make money if he makes money.
Yeah, it's not like I'm making money off.
It's not like you're cutting. And I told him, like, yo, I don't need nothing up front.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I'm going to see what the door is. I'm going to understand what the money that was made, and I just want my piece.
Yeah.
And I guess they didn't like it. But at the end of the day, now I know where they stand.
That's what's up, man. I mean, yeah, It's crazy when friendships and money start intermingling.
Yeah. But you know what? And people say, "Oh, money ruins everything." Money doesn't ruin shit. It's greedy ass fuckers that ruin everything. Because at the end of the day, if you break bread, if you and me right now were to throw a party, and once again the whole money thing,
Yeah.
if you and me were to throw a party now, and it's like, yo, I don't really need him. But what do I benefit from it? Okay, I have less work to do. I have more time to mingle. I have more time to network.
Yeah.
You know, and then guess what? Me mingling and networking, I might book another party because I had the time to have that conversation because the work was split between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if I'm doing everything,
Yeah,
I
you're
can't
wearing
have
all
no
the hats.
conversations.
Exactly.
I can't have no talks. And you just did a great party, but we never had to have that talk. And guess what? Tomorrow they forgot about it because we live in a thing where everybody has ADD and whatever the case may be, and they forget about everything the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like you need to understand, and everything is chess, bro. And I learned this on a job where like, and I've said this in the past as well, where I love my photography. I love what I do. I love being a photographer, but it sucks when they put you in that bubble because I'm beyond that. I can do so much more for you. And perfect. And I'll talk about the situation. I did a huge project, for a big international sports team, and I was brought in first to like, hey, can you help us find a location?
Mm-hmm.
Locked in location. Hey, can you help us find entertainment? Locked it in. Yo, we need like a big name, like a big name celebrity to show up and shake hands and kiss babies and all that shit, and kind of show that they show interest in the sport. Done. NFL player. Done. We need influencers to come and post her. Done. We need a PR person. Done. On the day of, I also got hired to shoot it.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out with my camera. Mind you, essentially produced 80% of the event.
Yeah.
Taking pictures, whatever. Posted up with my guy that brought me in. That's my dog. Shout out to him. And then there's other people. Mind you, I'm on all these emails because all these different people are responsible. All these people from these companies are responsible for all these different things that I helped them achieve. Where I would meet someone, and they'll be on their phone or whatever, and it's like, hey, this is so-and-so. And they look at me, they look at the camera, like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. They just assume, oh, he's just a photographer. Within those same 5 minutes, someone else would walk into the group and be like, oh, so-and-so, this is so-and-so. It's like, are you the Derick from the email? It's like, yes. Yo, thank you for everything you did. I appreciate it. Or you have no idea, like, what you did. The first person eavesdrops is like, oh, you're that guy? Puts his phone in his pocket. Like, oh, now they want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So me holding the camera in my hand and not having that producer executive role hurt me. So on the next job I did with them, I was like, hey, if you don't mind, I want to hire someone else to shoot it. I just want to be with a walkie on and be a producer. Why? Because now I'm not making the same amount of money because I could be shooting it and get a few more $100 out of it. But now I'm able to have conversations with the other producers and the other execs and all that stuff. We're like, hey, we really love this. We didn't care much for that. Yo, on the next one, if I was running around shooting, I wouldn't be able to have that conversation.
That's true.
So you got to kind of know when to like, oh, so my idea for my friend that I was trying to help was like, don't worry about nothing, bro. Go enjoy your event.
Yeah.
Go mix and mingle. Go talk your shit with your people. Go host.
Yeah.
I'll handle all the back end shit.
That's what's up, dog.
And they don't understand that.
I mean, yeah, you got that's grand scheme. That's a high up purview to be able to understand all of that. Yeah. And when sometimes if you don't have that kind of vision, it's hard for you. You can't force somebody to have the vision.
Oh no, 1,000%. But it's crazy because like, yo, I'm coming to you because I know you know what you're doing. Okay, if you know that I know what I'm doing, let me do what I gotta do. Yeah, and let's break bread. And unfortunately, it's like I ran at them the other day and tapped me, yo, you straight? Yeah, I'm straight. Yeah, and it's just like that different demeanor. I feel you. And it sucks because it's like it's not money. It's your demeanor. It's your thought process. Yeah. That's fucked up. It's not the money because we can both benefit from the money. Yeah,
it's more ego situation.
Yeah, it's ego, and that's what I've noticed. So like to simplify your answer is check your ego and sometimes check people's ego and be like, yo, pull ego to the side, just think about it real quick, and then walk away with them and just leave them with that thought. Yeah, and let them kind of process how it's like, damn. Okay, I'm not here to fuck you over. Yeah. And sometimes when I've ever had a situation with somebody, I'll pull them to the side. I'll jump in the car with them. I'll go to another room with them because, like, yo, my goal is not to embarrass you. My goal is to let you know what the situation is. Yeah. Whether I fuck with you or not. Yeah. It's like, yo, I'm not here to embarrass you. I don't have to put on a show and bump my chest and like, oh, I'm going to fuck you up. Yeah. There's no point in that. Nobody wins in a fight.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
That's true, dog.
Nobody wins in a fight.
Gets bloodied and
and not even that. If you fuck the dude up and then the dude's a bitch and calls the cops.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
You just fucked up your day, or you fucked up your month, or you got a record now because you wanted to bump your chest like King Kong.
Yeah.
There's no point in that.
I mean, but that's a lot of ego check, dog.
But here, that's the thing. That's the thing. And you know how I've learned the right way of doing it is you put them to the side and be like, look, big dog, I could have done this in front of everybody and made a big show, but that's not my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is to educate you or put you on play of like what I'm trying to achieve here, or trying to figure out what's up with you and me.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's nobody else's business here.
Exactly.
It's your minds. That's it.
I mean, yeah, but that's not the regular play. A lot
That's
of
not
people,
a regular. Yeah, that's not the regular thought process.
Yeah.
It's because ego gets in the way.
Ego gets in the way.
You know, and it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where like I've learned to like, if there's ever a situation with me where like I know facts,
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, let me holler at you, and not in no ego, not no bumping, no chest, no nothing. And I'll have a conversation with you and like, yo, I can't fuck with you no more. But
Yeah.
there's no beef, no nothing, but just like we're not cool. Like it is what it is, and I just walk away. There's no pushing, there's no shoving, there's none of that shit. Do I want to punch people in the face sometimes? Yeah, but am I gonna benefit anything from it? No.
No.
So
100%.
like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I've also learned too. Situation happened to me yesterday. I'm standing in a place that I was invited to have a conversation, and the place was actually like closed. It wasn't even open to the public at the moment.
Yeah.
And in walks in a dude that doesn't care for me.
Yeah.
Out of the grace of him saving face amongst the business owners or whatever, when he walks up to me, what does he do? He throws his hand up to say what's up.
Yeah.
He don't fuck with me. I know he doesn't
Yeah.
fuck with me. He knows that I know he doesn't
Yeah.
fuck with me. I throw my hand up. Why? Because I'm not going to be the one to start a problem in someone else's business that I was invited to.
I feel you, yeah.
And on the way out, when I went to say bye, I was introduced to somebody else that he was talking to. I was, yo, great meeting you. I bumped him again. I was like, I'll holler at you later.
Yeah.
But there was no tension. There was no beef. It was no nothing. Only people in that room that know something was up was me and that person.
Yeah.
And once again, the point is not rah, bump my chest. The point is, if there's a situation, let's figure it out. And if there's nothing to figure out, cool. But then don't fucking say what's up to me.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking head down and keep it moving. Like
Yeah,
we don't need to make physical contact to save face or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't want your energy. But I'm not, if I leave you hanging, then it looks like I'm starting problems.
like you're the one.
You're gonna say something, then I gotta say something back, and there's no point in that. If you don't fuck with me, don't say what's up to me.
That's true, dog.
If someone introduces us, give a head nod and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You know, my last podcast host was Brittany Brave, the comedian, and she was talking to me about that. How like in the comedy scene in South
I'm
Florida,
sure that shit is fucking brutal.
yeah,
Because they're good at talking shit too. They're good at roasting, so I can imagine.
They roast each other hard.
I can imagine.
But she's like, I don't like if you don't. She's like, there's people that I don't fuck with, and they know I don't fuck with them, and they won't fuck with me. But you know how in South Florida sometimes it's that fake love. Like, hi, how you doing? Like, yo,
I hate that shit.
You don't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? You know you don't like me. And I know that you don't like me. We don't like each other. We could be like, hey, what's up? That's it. But you don't gotta be like, how's your family and all that?
It doesn't have to be a show. We don't need to. No one's here for a show. The shorter and the sweet, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just bump it. All right, keep it moving.
Facts,
That's
bro.
it. You know.
So at the current moment, what is it that you're spending the most of your energy on? On your event? Promotions? What's the thing that's taking up the most time from you right now?
It's still split a little bit, like with my own events. I got, Live on 305 will be happening, March
305?
Yeah,
March 5th?
March 5th. It'll be on a Wednesday this year. We're doing it in Wynwood again. So that right now, is going to be like, that's the horse that I'm on right now for, to make sure that, can be the best event it could be on the day that it's falling on, and just kind of getting the community involved again. With it, I'm also, when jobs come in, I'm going to take them. I might, fingers crossed, be out of town in February for a big event with another big brand. And I just launched a YouTube channel.
Oh, shit.
For car-related stuff.
Oh,
so
damn.
in full circle, I'm going back to what I love, because doing what I love is what got me everything. Now I'm like, I found myself, I don't want to say competing is not a good word, but I found myself kind of like, hey, look what I could do.
Yeah.
Look at my work. Look at everybody I worked with. And I don't like that feeling, because it's like, it's not that I'm trying to brag or like, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm an asset.
Sometimes you got to do that though, dog. To be honest with you,
but it's not in my nature.
Facts.
So it's hard for me to do it.
I understand.
So my thought process was like, I'm a big YouTuber. Like, I don't even watch TV anymore. Everything I watch is on YouTube. And like, I see so many people literally doing what they love and making so much money. My theory is this: if you're giving away a $60,000 car, you gotta have a lot of fucking money being made for you to just give away a $60,000 car.
Facts.
So, and it's all ad revenue, and that's all it is. So at the end of the day, you're essentially just creating your own broadcast network to like put whatever you want. So what do I love the most? Cars. So I teamed up with a couple friends, and we're working on this car channel called Slide. We actually launched our first video 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago on the channel. And it's basically gonna start with the car scene, but we hope to expand into basically anything that goes motion, moving forward.
Yeah.
It's all a it's all a hidden message about you got to keep going.
So it's called Slide.
Yeah, Slide.
TV?
Slide Global is like kind of like
Global.
the YouTube. But essentially, Slide is something we say like, yo, I'm about to slide. Yo, come through. Yo, slide through. It's something that we say down here. And it's just a very, even though the channel's not about Miami, it's literally going to be, we've already filmed in San Diego, in Costa Rica, in New Orleans, and in Chicago. And obviously more stuff in Miami. But like the channel is going to be an international channel. But just, what is prevalent to us or the origins of it. We're all from South Florida. Me and the team that's doing this, we're all from South Florida. And it was just something, we started with a different name, and then we realized like it was too good to be true. There was too many people using that same name.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of rebrand, and it held us back like 2 months trying to figure everything out. And then I was just like, yo, like Slide is something we say very normal.
Yeah.
You're from Miami. We always wear socks and slides. So like I wanted to do slides when we were doing the other thing because I like that. And I was like, yo, man, what about just Slide? It doesn't mean anything, but it means everything.
Yeah.
It kind of fits into that world, but it can, it literally could be anything. It could have hit all demographics. So we kind of just went with that route. And it was going to be a little bit more serious prior, but now because his name is funner, the content could be funner. Okay. So, like I said, full circle, I'm going back to like my origins, and I'm really going to go in with cars. Like people that know me know I have a couple cars and a couple classics, and we're going to have a couple builds on the channel and just really work on highlighting and showing what we do and finding that community who wants to orbit around us. That's going to be orbiting is today's word.
Orbiting 2025. That's the whole world.
Today's letter is O for orbiting. Have a little puppet come out here.
I feel you.
Some Sesame Street vibes. But yeah, man, we want to it goes back to what I said earlier, where it's like I'm just gonna do me.
Yeah.
Find the people, and this whole thing was born by mistake. So one of the gentlemen, and I'm not saying who they are because some of them want to be low key about it. Eventually, some of them will be on the channel, and but they're South Florida entrepreneurs. They're a crew, and I mean I've never heard one bad thing said about them through multiple channels ever, and they're all stand-up guys. They all don't have, they all show face. Like they're all good guys. They all got clean faces.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
We'll talk about it off camera. But teaming up with them, they get it. And one of them called me and started talking really fast. And I hadn't heard from him in a few months. And I'm like, yo, who do you think you're on the phone with? I didn't say what's up. I was like, who do you think you're on the phone with? And I hear them pause, and they're like, oh shit, DG, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was calling somebody. Another Derick. Yo, my bad. All right, no problem, bro. Hope everything's well. Yo, stay safe, G. Click. Literally 5 minutes later, he called me like, yo, but it is funny though, because I wanted to holler at you about some car shit, because he's a big car guy. They're not all car guys, but the specific one that called me is a big car guy, and he's like, man, I actually want to pick your brain. I want to figure out something with like a car, something car related I want to do. And then I was like, bro, that's easy for me. I literally have a folder on my phone of just like car inspired things that I want to do in my future. Yeah. I just started sending him shit.
Okay.
He literally hits me back. He's like, damn, like you were prepared. I was like, no, this is something I want to do. It's just, it's not something I know I could do by myself, and I have to do it with the right people. When it comes to content, I got it. I having the team for it. I can potentially handle it mostly by myself. Yeah. But once again, I know it slows me down versus,
having a team.
Having a team. They're more in the e-commerce world. So with them handling shit that I hate, the reason why I don't do the Hialeah shirts and all that stuff anymore is because I hate inventory. I hate shipping stuff out. I don't mind doing it if I'm going to pop it up and sell out the same day. Yeah. But then having to fold everything and put it away, and then like, somebody wants to buy a medium shirt, I have to go through the whole box. I hate that whole process. These guys do e-commerce. They have a whole system built, ready to go. They have a multi-million-dollar company, and like they get it. So I was like, yo, once again, it goes back to tools. Yeah. It's an agenda. Yeah. They want to do something car related. I want to do something merchandise related.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win for both of us. So once again, we kind of like teamed up, bunch of meetings, fast forward till we finally dropped our first video 2 days ago, which today we're on the 18th. I dropped it on December 16th. and it was called Car Basel because like talking about like how cars are infiltrating Basel. Like Jaguar unveiled their new Jaguar here. Everybody's doing stuff on Cybertrucks. People are painting live on cars. So it was like one of those things where like it's gonna be something that's gonna be searched through on YouTube. People look up Art Basel and they don't make it to the event, or they look to see if the art came out on it. So it's one of those things that hits the search engine right when it right after it happens. Yeah. So I had that process. So we're like, I want the first video to be an Art Basel related car video, to kind of ride that Art Basel wave, to kind of see if because everything's an algorithm and everything is based on interest and whatnot on YouTube. So I kind of started working on that, and that's kind of like something that's going to take a lot of my attention, but just YouTube in general, because I'm working on 2 other projects that'll probably end up on the platform as well. Okay. Something being a little bit more archival, because I literally have everything I've ever shot in my entire life. Damn. Still. For the most part, I have lost some things and I have gotten rid of some things, but for the most part, I have like all my crazy like LeBron stuff, my crazy Cash Money stuff. So like, and a lot of stuff was on Vimeo, which is another platform. Yeah. And because they used to not have copyright, and then one day they got copyright, I had over 700 videos of copyrighted music because it was all the Cash Money stuff, and they deleted my entire channel. So anywhere where my stuff was embedded was deleted. Some stuff is on YouTube that people would rip off and then re-upload. Yeah. So some stuff has been like ripped, but then I would say 85% of it has disappeared from the internet, and I still have it. You gotta. And it's all hip hop history. So I'm thinking about bringing all that stuff up through a channel and like director's commentary and stuff like that, where like I can talk about being on the private jet the first time. I can talk about like being a kid from Miami, and like I had no ties to none of these people. Yeah. I was there because I brought cars to a music video and I was doing behind the scenes, and I met them. Like, I have zero ties in my family to, like, entertainment or sports. Like, this is literally me doing what I love that got me through the doors of that. And then me building my brand, getting with Cash Money, building my brand even more, going international. Because before Snapchat and all that stuff, DerickG.com was a source for hip-hop news in Miami, because I was on all the video sets. And it started getting to a point where, like, I was being flown out because, it was crazy back then when new hip-hop artists were coming out or they needed, like, to be revamped. I would get hit up by like the management or their PR or whatever. It's like 2 questions would be like, are you going to put your signature on it? And are you going to put it on your website? Because they wanted that affiliation. Like, yo, the guy who shoots everything for Birdman is taking my photos. Yo, the guy who shoots everything for LeBron is taking my photos. So, it's cool by association. Yeah. So that was like a big thing back then. And then once like Snapchat and all that shit came out, where everything was instant gratification, it fucked the game up for like the blogs and all that stuff. Because blogs, you could plan out a weekend, if we shoot something now, you can hold on to this for 2 months and it doesn't affect anybody because nobody knows this is happening. Yeah. But if I was to snap it now, I'd fuck up your shit because it's like, damn, like now I gotta hurry up. Yeah, once it comes. And that's the whole thing. That whole thing messed up that game. Yeah. But once again, evolve or dissolve. Yeah. And, you gotta kind of just switch it up. So like now I think I can have the nostalgia aspect of it, because in 2025 will be, September 2025 will be 10 years from, no, I'm lying. It's been over 10 years since I started with them, but I stopped working with them directly in 2015. I've done stuff with them after, like projects here and there, but like me on like a weekly basis was in 2015. So in 2025 will be 10 years. 10 years since I've worked with them like on a full-time basis per se. So it's kind of crazy. So like think about a kid that knows Wayne now, that's 20 years old. He was 10 when I finished. Yeah. So he was 5 or 4. Yeah. Excuse me.
He doesn't really know.
So like now it's like, oh, what's all this? And now with like the short form content and doing teasers on Instagram and all that other stuff.
TikTok.
I have all this. I have an arsenal of content.
And you got AI who could chop it. Because AI is chopping everything like a mofo, dog.
But I'm not there yet with that, with AI. But it's one of those things where like, I just think it makes sense. Like, I run into people like, yo, like, what's going to happen? Like, what are you going to do? Whatever the case may be. Yo, if I become the old dude that has all the cool history shit,
I mean,
I'm down. I mean, like, I'm,
fresh.
You know what I mean? Like, I did my thing. I had my fun. I got my family now. So, it's a different game for me. I can't commit to my work as much as I used to, because I obviously have to give, my spouse and my family, time. And it's not an easy balance. But you got to focus on, what's important and whatnot. So it's just one of those things where I always want to have fun doing what I'm doing. If I'm not enjoying it, I don't want to do it. And it shows in my work, it shows in my face. So like, even when like a job comes in that I don't want to do, I'd rather break bread with somebody, make a little something and give them an opportunity, because they're going to do it because they're excited about it. Yeah. And then I make a little something. They're happy they got hired. The client's happy it got done, and I micromanaged it for them. So it's a win-win because at the same time, when I alley-oop something to somebody, I still got to make sure it's good because I don't want to burn that bridge with the client. If the client just sees like, oh, you're just taking my shit and giving it to whoever because you don't want to do it, they're not gonna call me anymore. So there's always care in everything that I do. I want to enjoy everything that I do. Sometimes I just enjoy going to watch whoever I hired because I just enjoy the process of being there, making sure it's done right.
Yeah.
I don't physically want to hold the camera. I don't physically want to edit anything.
Yeah.
So like if I'm shooting something or editing something, it's because I'm really into it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I want to get back to that. I want to get back to enjoying what I'm doing. I don't want it to feel like work. Once it feels like work,
it's not fun anymore.
And mind you, some people are gonna be like, "Damn, it's kind of like selfish of you. It's kind of like ungrateful of you." And it's not. Like, this is the life that I chose. This is kind of what I built for. I've worked so hard for so many years to get to this level, and where people are caught up with like, "Oh, I want to be rich to be rich." It's like, I just want to have money to have the freedom to do whatever I want when I want.
Likewise, my dog. 100%, bro. That's 2025, bro.
Orbiting,
bro. So you talking about a lot about cars. What's one car that you really want that you don't got?
This is gonna be another like 2 hours, bro.
Nah, just one car.
If I can have one car in the world, that's like, it's not about a monetary thing. It's literally just like, yo, I want to drive it right now.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like an original like 60s Shelby Cobra. And I'm a Chevy GM guy, as you can see.
Holy shit.
But if I could have the Shelby Cobra,
For real?
bro, that's been a dream car of mine since I was a kid.
A Shelby Cobra. I wouldn't have thought about that because you're all about the Caprice and the donks and shit.
Yeah. No, that's something that it sucks that it's a Ford, but it's nobody's fault. But but I love that car. And if I would have known, mind you, a real Shelby, like there's kit cars everywhere. 90% of the ones you see on the street are kit cars, and you know, no problem. Like I'm not hating on it because if I would have known what I spent on building my 75, if I would have known I was gonna end up spending that much money building that, I probably would have built a kit car Shelby. You know, but obviously I love my car, but you know, everybody sees me in it all the time. But if I would have known that I got so invested into that car, I could have literally built
Shelby.
I could have built a badass Shelby. And you don't really see them out here amongst young people. It's like an older person car.
Yeah.
But and I'm not a horsepower guy. I'm not a loud exhaust guy. Like, that's actually annoying to me, funny enough. But I just, for whatever reason, I love that car. And like one of the most heartbreaking moments is one of my favorite movies is Bad Boys, and then when they crash it at the end.
It's
like, you know, it's a favorite
that was a kid car too, though. I wasn't real.
They wouldn't. A real one now is a million. It's $1 million plus. Like, it's not for an original like Shelby. It's $1 million plus, bro. Like, that'll be a dream of mine to like. I've never even seen a real one. I'll tell you. I've seen Shelby. I've seen Carol Shelby.
Yeah,
I've seen him as a person.
But you ain't seen the real Shelby.
I don't think I've ever seen, and maybe I haven't. I just wasn't. I wasn't educated on knowing that's what that was. But if that's like one car, and like I said, I can go down the list. But like if I'm gonna call one out, is that like even funny? Like with my girl, when I was like, "Yo, what's that?" She's like, "It's a Shelby." Like she gets annoyed by it because I'm like, "Hey, what's that on the streets?" It's a Shelby. Like, just to check her.
You know, that's wild, dog. That's fun though, man.
Like, that's one of my favorite cars, bro.
It's good that you have that. That you still have that enthusiasm for the things that actually put you on, which was like the car scene, and that was what gave you the opportunities that you were able to exploit, smart enough to exploit, right? Because a lot of people, once again, have those opportunities presented to them. They just don't either have the ambition, or they just don't know how to, or they don't even think about it, right?
I think that they don't realize how easy it is. And that's one. Two is I don't think they're willing to put the work in.
That's really what it is.
And that's what it is, because to me, it's like, once again, what's the point of this channel? Like, yo, if I can figure out where I can go and shoot shit all day long and talk to car people, which I love car people, and then I can make money off of ad revenue, why the fuck wouldn't I do it?
100%.
You know,
and
here's the crazy shit. I talked about this in the past. For a long time, when I had all my Cash Money stuff on Vimeo, someone from YouTube reached out to me back in 2010 or some shit. Yeah, I still have their number. Actually, from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And his job was to try to get me to switch platforms.
Damn.
And back then, I was already on Vimeo, but they had the copyright on YouTube, so I was like, I can't use that one with the music, and it's like, I don't want to feel like moving everything over. Whatever. If I would have gone into YouTube in 2010,
oh man, your shit would have been.
We would have been on my yacht having this conversation. You know
I don't know
mean?
if I would have had this conversation.
You know what I mean?
I would have to talk to 3 other people to get the okay to get the
But
combo.
it's one of those things where it's like everything happens the way it needs to.
Facts.
Maybe I would have not been able, to work with LeBron or like team up with like Beats by Dre and do all the cool shit that I did. Yeah. Because I would have been caught up in my own thing. So to me, it's like, excuse me. watching like these guys that like been on YouTube since they were kids, and they're like Mr. Beast and all these guys, where they literally went from we saw them grow up on YouTube, and now they're millionaires and billionaires and doing all this crazy stuff. Like, I think it's like time for me to like stop eating shit and like focus on that, and like really like I know the car world. I'm not pretending to like, you know, enter a subculture that I'm, you know, trying to exploit or take advantage of. Like, no, I literally want to like, if I want to get to the point where like I want to pick one of my friends or one of my friend's sons that's always wanted to build a car, and it's just like they can do it, but it's gonna take them a few years, and like, I can build it on the channel and give it to them. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to give away like car builds and like do shit for the community and do car shows at schools and just travel the world. Or like, yo, what if I meet another Derick that his dream car is a Shelby, and I can take him to go get one, you know, because the channel allows me to. And mind you, this is just me being materialistic. Like, you know, like even like what Mr. Beast is doing, like it's crazy that like he's doing shit in Africa and on all these different continents and countries of like putting water in places that like politicians can't do or billionaires don't do it because no da la gana. And this guy's doing it, and he's smart because he's doing it. And while he's documenting it, he's gonna make his money right back, and that money's gonna go right back to help somebody else. And it's literally a cycle for him. And then he's able to do like he's doing the Mr. Beast games, where he just posted he broke 40 records, 40 World Guinness records or whatever, doing that show. And it's like he
all
says
through philanthropy.
It's crazy, bro. And
I mean,
like,
that's what people want to see too. They don't want to see people be greedy and be all that. Like,
I don't know, because then you have them shows like The Housewives and all that bullshit.
I mean,
like, people like drama.
That's drama, though. Yeah. People like seeing humans go through drama. But
how can we be dramatic and be a philanthropist at the same time?
That's the fucking clutch.
You slap
right
people
there.
with money. Hey, how do you do that?
Can slap me with 100,000.
You want water? Here's all the water you need. Like, you know, how do you do that?
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, man, I wanna like lock into that shit, and bro, and just give that all my energy. And it's like, you know, I'm tired of waiting around for that next job call. Like, I'm grateful for every call that comes in, but it's like those in between moments. Like, I'm just tired of waiting, so I might as well just get to work on my own stuff. And you have the
skill sets.
That's the thing. I have all the tools. I have literally everything I need. I have the time. I have the tools. I have the skill set. I have everything that I need to make it happen. Yeah. So if this doesn't happen, it's nobody's fault but mine.
Facts.
You know, and I know that. You know what I mean?
But you could do it, bro. 100%. I see it and be successful. And I hope.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car is a 72. The Lincoln Continental, 4-door suicide doors.
So it's 60s. That's a JFK.
The JFK, yeah.
60s. Yeah, no.
69, 68?
60s,
yeah.
The JFKs.
The
Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, Lincoln Continental with convertible. That's the one that I've always wanted. Yeah. I mean, right now I have my dad left me his truck. He recently passed away, and it's beat to shit, but I'm gonna restore it. I have a 95 Ford F-150. Nice. And I really want to get it I want to get it showroom style. And I've been pricing it out, you know. I've been looking at it. It had no AC, it don't have nothing. It just beat the. He used to use it for work and shit. But I mean, I feel like it's something that I could build up and hopefully leave it as an heirloom for the family. You know what I'm saying? And it's also like a thing for my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course. You're building it for him and it's his honor. Yeah, and that's cool because if that's something that you do on your own or with your family or you know. With your little ones, when you have, I don't know if you have kids.
No, I don't got kids yet, but it's something that I do wish that by the time I have kids, I'd be able to leave them that. You know what I'm saying? No.
And yo, cars are fun. They're not easy.
Nah,
they're hard. Yeah. Florida humidity sucks.
Yeah,
makes things rust.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you really have to get yourself into. You know, if you're gonna get into it, get into it. Yeah. And mind you, like, don't. If I can give you any advice towards it. Build it to where you can enjoy it. Don't build it to where like you don't want to be able to enjoy it because you don't want to fuck nothing up.
No, I would have it and I would drive that bitch all the time. Like I gotta go to Publix and everything. Yeah. It's not like I'm gonna have it sitting up in the garage. Nah, I'm good with that.
People see me going to play. I go to Best Buy in the convertible and I leave it there, and then it's on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
And they're like, "What the fuck?"
And it's like, you know,
you putting miles on it.
Yeah, and it's like, but
what's the point?
It's like sneakers. People buy sneakers and they're like, oh,
and then they turn to dust.
Yeah, it's like
if you don't wear them, they turn to dust. These people holding Jordan 1s since '95 or whatever, and then you go to put them on and the whole bottom just falls apart and cracks. You're like, come on, man.
I always tell people, wear your shoes and drive your cars.
Facts, dog. Facts. But Derick, dog, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for shooting the shit with me and dropping some knowledge, for people coming up behind us, behind you, people who want to get into this world of, creative entrepreneurism. It's not easy. It's not easy in South Florida to be a creative entrepreneur, but if you have the like the heart for it, there's avenues, right? People like
100%.
yourself like show that there's avenues. You don't have to leave to New York. You don't gotta go to LA. You don't gotta go to Atlanta. You could do it here in South Florida. And I always commend people like yourself that are doing here, that's still doing it in South Florida. Knowing that you could have left and and
I could have
transplanted
been
to.
gone a long time ago.
Facts.
And my whole thing is like, I want to pioneer here. Like maybe I don't benefit from it, but I know other people will.
Yeah.
But obviously, if I can get, if I can enjoy the fruits of my labor,
Yeah.
I definitely plan to. You know what I mean? Like, but I've learned that this place, people come here to play.
Yeah.
They don't come here to work.
Nah.
And then the people that are here working are people that worked elsewhere and they're here playing and working because they have the financial
bread.
stability to do it. If you're from down here and you want to be able to do it, but if you have to have a job because you have responsibilities, do your job, but then make sure when you clock out of work, you clock into yourself.
Yeah.
And just, don't go and hang out. Focus on your shit. Focus on your craft, because once you can make the same amount of money doing what you're doing on the side as what you do on your 9 to 5, you can quit your 9 to 5 and just go back to now focusing and putting 16 hours in your craft versus just 8.
And making it better.
You know what I mean? So like, as long as you can get your stuff to equal up to what you were making at work, then you can let go of your job because you can survive off of that.
Yeah.
So as long as you have that mindset and you can let go of, if you're working 8 hours at work and you work 6 hours on your shit, and those 6 hours you can make the same amount of money you're making weekly doing what you're doing, or even in a shorter term, because that's like in my line of work, it's like I'll do one job every few months, and the checks are nice. It took me a long time to get to that level, but that check will hold me down.
Yeah.
And I'm able to experiment and do other stuff and do other jobs. And mind you, I'm the type where I don't really leave money on the table. Like, I don't turn down most jobs. And once again, if it's something that I don't care to do, I'll alley-oop it to somebody, but I'll make sure that the job gets done properly. I'll make my little cut. Like I said, I got my money in the bank, and I still have more time to focus on what I want to focus on. And, that's kind of like the mindset for everything. So, and I know for a fact not everybody has it as easy as that. Some people have way more responsibilities than I do. Some people have way more financial situations they need to handle, and life is not the same for everyone.
Yeah.
And life is not as fair for everyone. So I understand that, and I want to let people know I understand that. So it's not as easy for everyone, but if there's a will, there's a way.
Facts.
So like if you wanna make this shit happen for yourself, you're gonna have to sacrifice somehow, and you're gonna have to do it.
You gotta do it, bro. You gotta do it. This whole Que Bola podcast is a labor of love, bro. Like I always say this. I still ain't made a single dollar off this shit. I've been doing it for 4 years. But you know what? I do love this. I love talking to creatives. I love talking to people from South Florida. I love putting on for South Florida. That's my passion. Like, I want South Florida to shine. It shouldn't only be a place where people with money come and have a good time. It's like, yeah, it should be that, but also like we have a creative scene down here, and there's people out here doing dope ass things like yourself, you know what I'm saying? So that's why like this whole thing is a labor of love. It'll never stop. Even if to the end it don't make no bread, I'll still be doing this. And that's what I want to encourage other people to do. And I congratulate you for coming on and talking to me and letting me know how it's popping off in your world. Do you have any handles that you want to leave the people off with? Your YouTube handle or anything? The new ones?
At Slide Global on YouTube. On the Instagram is slide_global. Obviously, mine's DERICK_G, and on that one you can kind of tap into all the other things that I'm doing and whatnot. But definitely, that's what I want to push. So
for sure, bro. Everybody, tune into the YouTube Slide Global and tap in and go ahead and subscribe and follow and like and share. Same thing with the podcast. Follow, share, like, and like I always say, if you like it, share with your friends, and if you hate it, share with your enemies, but just share this motherfucker. Hasta la próxima. We out this bitch. Peace. I want to thank Derick for coming out to the podcast, being transparent, sharing his point of view, sharing his gems for the culture, and for anybody coming up behind him.
I do appreciate everybody who's listening to the podcast, and I do appreciate everybody who tunes in every Monday at 12 o'clock on Jolt Radio. It's also syndicated, joltradio.org, the podcast. If you have any questions or concerns or anything else, feel free to reach me out. Reach out to me at Que Bola Podcast on IG, Que Bola Podcast, or you could hit my personal D Figueroa 305, D Figueroa 305. Thank you so much for your time. Hasta la próxima. Que te crezca. I love ya. Peace.